Okay, so what we'll do first, does anybody have any questions about anything? You can put your hand up, you can type in the chat box, you can see how that works. If anybody's got any questions. Now, I corrected 6 of the letters earlier this morning. You might have seen. I started at 6:30. It's now just after 9. So I corrected 6 of the letters this morning. And I've got 4 more in this file, which we're going to take a look at now. So did anybody have any questions about any of the corrections that I made this morning? If not, I'll do a screen share and we'll get on. I've only got 4 letters now because I've made comments on 6 earlier. Okay, well, doesn't seem like anybody's got any questions yet. So what we'll do then, I'll do a screen share. We'll take a look at it. Let me get the right file. Should be this one. We've got 4 on Pina, Nabila, Dr. Shahid. That makes it a bit bigger. Okay, I'll do a screen share and we'll get on with this. Okay, so put the screen here. Okay, I'll put the chat box. Oh, right, now put the chat box here. So if you've got any questions, you can post comments there. And manage participants, I'll put that here as well. Okay, so if you want to ask any questions, you can raise your hand over here, yeah, and I'll turn your microphone on, or you can type your question here in the chat box. Okay, so let me just check it. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, let's have a look. I'll put the changes on. Okay. So this is the Sarah Day letter. We'll just look at the case notes. You've probably seen. Oh, that's not it. Okay, so you've probably seen the case notes. I don't seem to have that file open right now, but you have seen it. Miss Day, she came, she was complaining about depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, we find that she had a whiplash. Whether that is relevant or not, we'll see. Right, Mrs. Who's writing on the screen? Don't do it. Thanks. Right, so Miss Sarah Day, 20 years of age. I'm writing to request your further assessment and management, okay? We presented with frequent bouts of a headache due to a sustained whiplash injury. Now, does it actually say that in the notes? Now, according to the case notes, she had the injury before she started presenting. So I don't know if that's, it could be pertinent, but was it sustained? Because how this reads now is the whiplash injury was sustained. In other words, it continued on. But because you've got this here, due to a sustained whiplash, or if you mean she had, or a sustained as in occurred, then it only happened once. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say here, but anyway, we'll leave it as it stands. It's sound in grammar terms anyway. Right, now, do we need this here? University student, smoker, drinker, she passes, right? Possesses. she has. Possesses. Possesses. Hang on, how do you spell it? Possesses. Possesses. Well, that isn't right. So she has an erratic lifestyle, but I don't know if this is pertinent, really. If it were, it should be farther down. It should be farther down, you know. Anyway, so Miss Day, capitalize that. My mother presented to me complaining that I was headache. The headache was sudden onset, preceded by nausea with nausea for imbalance. In subsequent visits, on subsequent visits, watch your prepositions. On subsequent visits, the pain attacks became more frequent. Well, right, so how this reads is that the pain attacks occurred on subsequent visits. You mean when you mean on subsequent visits, she was complaining that the pain attacks. Because how this reads now, it reads like when she came to see you, the pain attacks were occurring. Subsequent visits, pain attacks. So she complained the pain attacks had become, so we need to make it clear. She complained the pain attacks became or had become, make it past perfect. So because we've got simple past there, so we can use past perfect there, had become. More frequent relaxation techniques. That's a good way of describing. I remember from the notes it says about lying down, meditation, dark room, etc. So that's a good, concise way of putting all those ideas down instead of writing a list. She was, lying in a dark room, relaxation, taking this, closing the windows, blah, 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 blah. Just saying that, relaxation techniques. So that's good. In addition, her mother showed concerns about her daughter's depression, and she did not respond to treatment. Well, I would probably make it continuous, as she was not responding, because it's ongoing. So if you say, as she did not respond, so it means that only happened once, I would probably be tempted to make it a continuous verb because it's ongoing, as she was not responding. That's just what I would do. Okay, was commenced today, Miss Day attended my clinic alone, reporting prosthesia in the left hands. Right, we wouldn't use that as a possessive. We would either say in her fourth and fifth finger or in the fourth and fifth finger of her left hand. We wouldn't really use that as a possessive because that, that's not quite work. In the fourth and fifth fingers of her left hand. Okay. No improvement. She disclosed a history and one foot she did not say she didn't seek treatment, hence I presumed her a case. Well, presume, I don't know if that's good. Suspected might be better. Presumption is something else. So I probably, because you are suspicious, you believe it could be true. I think that's better than presumption. Like presumption of innocence. It doesn't quite mean what you think it does. So I suspected her to have a case, not to be a case. Okay, so not too bad. Based on the above information, Miss Day, speak for management. Okay, that's not bad. Just check the words. What have we got? 240. Now I've added a couple, but 240 is a little bit long. We could maybe cut out some of this. We could maybe, because that paragraph is a little bit long, we can maybe cut that down a little bit. Apart from that, we can't really cut that. That paragraph is pretty concise. That's good. Introduction is good. I don't know if we really need this at all. But I think the paragraph that we would need to lose some words from would be this. We could probably cut that one down. Somebody's got a question. What are we going to correct the 2 letters left from yesterday? No, because yesterday has gone. We're doing today's because there's over 90 people in the group and I haven't got time to be doing everybody's letter. So if you get left behind, just write one and we'll make sure that you are assessed for the next one. Okay, can we say the whiplash injury in the past history? Can we say the whiplash history in the past history? No, not as such. Whiplash injury in the past. I know you. What do you say here? So put this over here. Get this out of these away. Hang on. A history. So she disclosed a history. I don't know. You could say a history, or you could say she disclosed a car accident, etc., which she did not seek. What's this? No need for an article before 4th and 5th finger. In the 4th and 5th fingers of her left hand. Okay, so that isn't bad. Again, I'll just, I'll maybe try and cut that paragraph down. Right, let's see what we've got here then. 265, or even discounting that and that's still a little bit long. 265. Okay. Mistake to the university student. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, we've got the date of birth. So, we can work it out. Does it matter if she's a student? Maybe not. I mean, right, even if we just, I would include that because that's part of the body. If we just take this, right, still 254 words. So we need a bit of trimmage. So this looks a little bit long. 20 there's a student, I won't include that, who has presented today in our practice. Again, this is one reason why this is 254 words. It's too wordy, adding things that you don't really need. Complaining of symptoms consistent with paresthesia of the left hand. Is that really right? I'm going to leave this open now to write you. Okay. So you are the doctors, you know better than I, but is this the urgent issue? Is this the main medical issue? Anybody want to come in? Anybody want to come in and answer me this? The previous one, it's headaches. Okay, in the other ones, it was talking about anxiety, depression, and now in this, symptoms consistent. So what do you think? Come on, this is a question. I want someone to answer me. What do you think is the main medical issue for this patient? Because I've seen 3 different things made before this morning. So some are saying depression, anxiety, others a headache. Now this one about a hand. Neurological. It says something about she was depressed, showing symptoms of depression, anxiety because she was overeating, withdrawing, not interested in a boyfriend, etc. I thought those were classic symptoms of clinical depression. Are they not? Withdrawing from society, staying in your bedroom, losing interest in physical appearance, in relationships, comfort eating. Yeah? Okay, well, if you don't, you know, if nobody wants to come in and answer that, we'll continue. Thank you for further investigations and management plan and a management plan. I should say that's a little bit long for an introduction. Okay, Mr. A is a patient who connects with childhood. Do we need to know that? This is one reason why it's 250 words. There's information that we do not need. Do we need this also? Okay. December last year has been complaining of the headache of a headache. Symptoms could not be related with, or well, you usually relate something to. Related to her diagnosis or psychoemotional state. The first of management care plan was educational therapy for migraine. Beside of. I'm not quite sure what this is. What besides? What and? I'm not quite sure what you are trying to say there. Anti-vomiting treatment due to throats. Regrettably, now, are you supposed to be using emotive language? Regrettably, unfortunately. I could not notice any improvement of her condition or improvement in her condition. I'll probably use in. Therefore, the patient was prescribed to commence. Prescribed to commence? Right, you've got to watch sometimes how you use your passive voice. It doesn't quite work. Therefore, the patient was prescribed. We don't have to say prescribed to commence. Simply was prescribed a course of L-triptan. That was a treatment. That's easier. I don't know why there's a comma there, which was substituted with L-triptan after 3 weeks. A review today has still come. Why would that be present perfect? Has still complained or is still complaining? I don't think it will be present perfect there. Probably simple past was still, probably past continuous because it's ongoing. So when she came to see you, that was a while ago today, but it's still in the past. So we could say still complaining. Oops. Complaining about the worsening, about her worsening condition. So I'd probably say her worsening condition, not the worsening of her condition. It's making it a little bit awkward. Worsening about her worsening condition. One important aspect of our discussion was that the patient has mentioned, right, this is why, it's 250 odd words, because it's too wordy to explain. And one important aspect of our discussion, so you've got what, 6 words there, 7, 8, 9. Also, the patient mentioned that she was involved in a car accident, or the patient provided new information about she was involved, So we could cut this down. It's a little bit long. And then I don't know why we need a list of this. I don't know why that is there. That should be here in the body. If you could do the investigations, or you mean if you could investigate, that's better than do. If you could investigate and further manage this patient. Very good. If you have any concerns about this patient, please not hesitate to contact me. Okay, so there we go. Right. Anybody got anything to say? Anybody want to come in and speak Ask any questions. Raise your hand here, type your question. Anybody? Nope. Okay then. We'll carry on. To request your assessment of Miss Day. You don't assess for your assessment of Miss Day, whose features are suggestive of sustained whiplash or a sustained whiplash. Interesting. Now, you see how that's concise to the point. And we've got a relative clause whose features are. That's good. Good grammar. 229. Okay, could be a little bit shorter, maybe. Initially, mistaken the macrotic with. Did she? I thought. Did she come with her mother at first? I thought she came with her mother later. Don't know. Can't remember. Complaining one-side headache. Should occur twice in the first 2 weeks. There's no anxiety as well as disturbances. A headache. Well, it's a particular headache because you've mentioned it first with an indefinite article. So every subsequent usage has to have a definite article. Starting suddenly with an aura, and it was localized. So it was easing, or it eased when she was lying down. She did not notice any relations. I don't know why this sentence is on its own. It should be part of the paragraph. She didn't notice relations, well, would she notice that? I mean, probably you would ask her some questions, and you would, you would make such a decision. Is it likely that she would know that? I don't know. So now, well, right, it seems that all this is about the initial presentation, and that's far too long. Yeah, so, so after her first, so why isn't this not a separate paragraph? So this is confusing, right? So these 3 paragraphs here, apparently, these are the initial presentation, yeah? So why is it not together? Okay, and then this, because it's a second visit, because you're establishing a chronology, this should be separate. Like, well, finally, the second visit, the first. So we can see how, we can see what the timeline is. Okay, she was a couple of times with worsening headache attacks, along with depressive symptoms, which she could not relieve, with any medication such as painkillers and antidepressants. Finally, today Miss Day came alone and confessed that she had a car accident, reported that had everything was involved. In her fourth and fifth fingers, along with headache attacks. Reviewing both suffering whiplash injury and requires short evaluation. Okay. So it's a little bit long. I would put those into a paragraph so it's clear. This is the first event, this is the second event, this is the third event, and you could probably cut that down because that's 106 words in a paragraph. Too many. Okay, so a few things to look at there. Kindly suggest an introduction. Well, I haven't got time for that. I'm just correcting what you write. Maybe we can look at that another day. Okay, writing to a question about information of Miss Day, who's featured. Now that's good. Relative clause, yeah, and good phrase. Neurological manifestations. That covers quite a lot of ground. It's not as specific as whiplash, as a headache, as blah, blah, blah. That is pretty good. Neurological manifestations. I like it so much, I'm going to say it again. Neurological manifestations. Very good. So, mistakes with parents. Okay. Irrelevant. No family history of a migraine. Well, okay. I don't know if we need that. Before we go on then, hang on, let me just... 271. 271. Oh dear. Too many. Well, I won't include that. So that introduction is good. Don't need that. Initially, complained about on certain past week with stress. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, you notice the previous one, that initial paragraph was like 110 words or something, 100 words. This is only half. It's 55. That's better. So, regrettably, emotive language, I don't know, I wouldn't use it. Almost a year later, with worsening symptoms, use it as an adverb. Moreover, she reported she was scared to go out during the attack. So 10 minutes left. Reported she was scared to go out. I don't know if you could, I would have maybe said some of the other things about how she was feeling, but that's good. No triggers were found. If we compare that to the previous one, she did not. So yeah, instead of saying that, you can say, where is it? No triggers were found. Very good. Returned back with further deterioration, anxiety, and by panic attack. Her mother reported she's lost interest in the usual activities. Gaining weight, sleeping. 3 weeks later, she presented alone. I would probably split that up so we can see. Right hand, furthermore, in the fifth, condition of her symptoms, she disclosed that she sustained. We don't need present perfect because we know when the action occurred. So, simple past. Of what appears to be. Involvement. That's good. Very good. It's just a little bit long. You could maybe cut some of this stuff down. What was the other phrase? Neurological manifestations. Good. So, very good. Just a little bit long. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions about anything? Anybody want to say anything about anything? Hanan, hang on. Right. Yep.
Yes, hello. Just I would like to know if it's possible to write the accident of the whiplash injury as an introduction. Like, as I said, Mrs. Day is a smoker and a moderate drinker, and she has sustained the injury, which had been recently disclosed. Is that possible, or we don't need the medical and past history?
I don't know really. I mean, some of that stuff about smoking and drinking and living with parents, is that really relevant or pertinent? The whiplash probably is, but if you're establishing a chronology, then possibly mentioning it at the end because it was only revealed to you today. So I would probably do that. I mean, this is why I was asking what people think are the main issues here, because we had 6 letters which I've corrected and posted in the group. We've got 4 letters now, and some have put a headache, some have put a whiplash, some have put anxiety, a depression. So I'm not clear really as to what the main, I mean, I'm not a doctor.
I think the issue is that she sustained the whiplash injury, which could cause her like spinal cord injury or something. And it could be with time swollen, causing her pressure symptoms like the paresthesia and stuff like that. That's my analysis. I don't think that depression or anxiety is related to her condition, because it was a misleading diagnosis at the first. And then after that, when the doctor realized that she had a history of a dangerous accident, he referred it to the neurologist. So the main point of turn is her injury, is her accident.
I was thinking that too, yeah. But though the symptoms are important, it's only later that we find out what the cause might be.
Yes, I agree with you, because she's not diagnosed. There is no definite diagnosis, so we need to write many different symptoms, because there is no definite diagnosis. So if she is diagnosed, we can just focus on the neurological symptoms, but she's referred to be diagnosed. So as you say, that we might need to mention other things, because there is no definite diagnosis, you know.
Okay.
But the sequence, what I'm asking about is, it's okay to write it like paragraph in the beginning with medical, social, and then start to describe what happened, or how we should mention the whiplash injury.
I don't know. I think for this letter, I'd be tempted to establish a chronology. Now, for some of them, you can put the main issue at first, and then you can put a timeline underneath it to explain how you got to that particular point. Like, there was one, something like a couple of days back, calling for urgent assessment because of cancer, I think it was. So obviously that needs to be, or it needed to be, in the introduction. And everything that came after that would explain how it leads up to that, a background. So that was the main issue. This guy, he needs urgent treatment now. He's got to come in now because, and then the support that explained that. But I think here, this one does need a bit of explanation in terms of, developing a time. First this happened, then this happened, then this happened. However, I just found out this. In view of all these things, can you take certain action? So that's what I would be tempted to do. But again, you need to be careful, because including too much irrelevant detail, it's gonna, we've had somewhat here, what 270, 250, 240. It's a little bit long. So again, it's a delicate act of choosing. And this is one of the criteria by which you are assessed: the ability to collate, evaluate, and synthesize information, because that's a critical skill in being an advanced user of English, well, of any language. In fact, the ability to logically collate and synthesize. So it's a bit of a balancing act, but the examiner, if they see that 270 words, the criteria for task achievement, it says if it's a little bit long, you get a 5. If it's overly long, you get a 4. So you've got to watch that. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions I want to ask before we get off? Comma before whose? Well, if it's a relative clause, yeah. if it's a relative clause, such as here, yeah, whose features are consistent, relative pronoun, comma, relative clause. Yeah, that's good. Oh, hang on, somebody's got the hand up. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, sorry. Just because I have some difficulties with article use, I want to make sure here in the second paragraph initially, Miss Day presented on blah, 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 with the complaint or with a complaint, because first time to mention, I think.
Yeah, well, it's difficult because it's a specific it's a specific one because it's a complaint of something else. So, you know, with a complaint, so, you know, as you say, when you introduce something for the first time, so if it's like new to known or general or specific, so it could be either here because a complaint, a singular, okay, and it's the first time, but also it's a specific complaint, the complaint of rapid onset, etc. So it's a specific. So